When the homeless, overweight, smelly guy comes up and is emotionally vulnerable, she's not sexually attracted to his vulnerability.
The idea of a man being vulnerable and emotional with you, is it a turn on or a turn off?
Turn on.
It depends.
I'll literally be wet.
You just heard this first video, and then you hear them say this. How can both things be true?
All of us. Alex Cooper doesn't speak for all women.
Again,
she's a
What are
crazy.
we talking about?
What we're talking about, Bree, is every
Bree,
Bree, stop. Respectfully, stop talking over me. Bree, stop. Please, let me finish what I'm saying.
Fine, fair enough.
Please. When we're talking about that, all of you agreed with what Alex said.
I did not agree.
Did not agree.
Because there's not agree.
None of us agreed with
None
her.
of us. We did not agree.
Well, I didn't.
There were certain aspects.
I love a guy who gives me no attention. I love it. Love someone who flirtily shits on me, kind of.
I actually agree with her.
I think it's absolutely agreeing with so much with what has already been said, but
stop the cap.
That's not what we want. There's a balance.
Let me square the circle, and you guys can respond to this if you want. I think for what you asked about emotional vulnerability, once she's attracted,
Yes.
then that's it. Once she's attracted, absolutely, you can be vulnerable.
First moment.
Yes.
Like if you're
Before she's attracted, when the homeless, overweight, smelly guy comes up and is emotionally vulnerable, she's not sexually attracted to his vulnerability.
Even if that was
It's
a top
once
man being
she's
like that.
attracted. I completely agree, because I'm vulnerable with someone who's close to me in my life. I have no problem with that. The guys that are in my program, the guys I surf with in the military, I'm open and vulnerable with them because they did something to earn it. Once she's attracted, 100% what they're saying is true. Before she's attracted, 33% of men get no sex. These women think that 2% of men are attractive. The survey about 58% of women's sexual relationships are with the top 10% most promiscuous men. That's the reality we live in before she's attracted. Once she's attracted, I absolutely agree that the emotional vulnerability, it counts. But we keep skipping that part.
All right,
because most women are not attracted to most men.
Let me throw in my 2 cents here.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. See, that's the problem is everybody hears that. Don't you find emotionally available, vulnerable men attractive? And everyone's going to say yes. The problem with that is that you're looking at this from the perspective of guys hearing this, and then they go, oh, really? Women want vulnerable guys? Oh, okay. I'm going to be the most vulnerable dude I could possibly be.
Everything. There's a balance.
They want vulnerable guys. No, but this is okay. So men are
balance. You guys are so extreme.
So here,
this is just extreme.
Exactly. And you know why? Because those guys, what happens is those guys hear that and they go, vulnerability means I'm going to get pussy if I am more vulnerable. So what I'm going to do is I understand that, but listen, this is the mentality. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is the mentality here. Okay, guys are competitive. So if you say vulnerable equals intimacy equals pussy, what they're going to do is I'm going to be the most vulnerable guy I can possibly do and outdo all of these guys.
You do not
so they can do that.
Not the most.
But see, they're trying to solve a problem. The problem is they want to get laid. If they see that that's the key. Finish answering Mark's question here. Okay. So when we're talking about vulnerability here, okay, the only time vulnerability is in any way attractive is if that guy's predominant personality is already an alpha to begin with. Okay, drags that vulnerability out of that guy who is predominantly alpha.
Oh my god, I love you.
That is endearing. That is something that
it
makes
is the hottest thing. It's so sexy.
Because what it 100%. So what happens? The guy has
yes.
Do you all agree with that?
Yes.
So okay, no, this is interesting. So
well, it's like taming Tarzan.
You're only interested in vulnerability once you've got an alpha.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because again, I don't want you trauma dumping on me, but once we're together, I want to know everything that makes you. I don't want to know everything that you've been through, like the first couple of dates. Once I'm with you, that's when I'm going to start opening up. That's when I want you to open up. But I'm not going to tell you about this and that affected me as a child as I am now on the first date. What are you talking about?
Can I
I wanted to be with somebody that I already know that I can trust. Like Michael says, you have to build the trust with it.
What about
Bree
can
was
I
about
ask?
to say something. Sorry, Bree.
Well, wait, it was an important question. Can you say
the question
the alpha thing? Can you
forgive me,
repeat
I was
that?
just trying to interpret what boys were saying.
Yeah.
So just please forgive me if I get this wrong, but my understanding, Roll, of what you're saying is that it's okay to be vulnerable, but you got to be an alpha first to get that first attraction.
Well, there's
what I wanted to know from the women is, are you only attracted to the alpha?
Not me personally, but I would like to counter. I would like to ask the men a question. That's like saying you want a caring woman, right? You want a woman who's caring towards you.
After I'm attracted.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, but I feel like
I'm not a hypocrite. I'm the same way.
we-
We're both the same.
Yes, but
You
we
two are
argue-
friends, right?
She looks after my cats.
You love
She
each
looks after
other?
my cats.
Can you imagine?
No
I
one's
feel
gonna
like
kill
we
each other after
argue
this.
This
so
is
much
why
in
we brought her
circles
on, so-
this
I can
show,
see.
though. We argue in circles where it's like you keep going back to these like, shallow viewpoints where it's like
Initially, it is
attraction.
shallow. Initially, it
It
is
is
shallow. Then it
shallow.
becomes
But-
not shallow.
Okay.
Well,
but
okay,
Well,
Bree, I
when
love
you
you.
can-
Bree, top it. I love you. My relationship with you is not shallow.
It's
Initially,
not. It's not.
initially,
That's the
initially, when
crazy
you and
part.
I met, we probably had some preconceived notions about one another, and then later on, we got to know each other as friends.
Yes.
That's my point. In the beginning, it is shallow. In the beginning, you do look at his shoulders and his biceps.
But I didn't
In the
like
beginning,
or dislike you based on your
No, 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 no,
attractiveness.
no, I don't- I understand.
liked-
I
didn't
understand
like
it.
you based on your viewpoints that you
but
espouse
initially,
publicly. That's
but
a
in the very
thing.
first moment, from an unfamiliar environment, when women are not giving most men attention, I'm not talking about you and me. For
You
most people, in that case, it is shallow initially.
But you're not staking on the same path. But this is a good point though. Why do you like me as a friend? What do you value in me as a friend?
Because you're funny and you love cats like I do.
And that's my point. When people say to me like, "How can you not agree with Michael on almost everything and still value his friendship?" All the things that I like and appreciate and value about you are none of the things that you're encouraging other people to be.
Exactly.
I like you because you're kind and you're
Yes.
caring. You think that's vulnerable and that's shitty.
I don't have a
because
problem
you're
with kind and
reliable.
caring,
I
but
think
I
you're
just don't know.
intelligent outside of this
Again,
shit.
I totally
intelligent.
agree with you. But the problem is, I'm saying that to do those things after she's attracted. That's all I'm saying.
But,
So
but
it's
we're not
an
having sex.
aspect
So
of
if we're not having
access.
sex and you're not looking at me as attractive or not, but you're still getting.
Oh no,
to
this
that
is different.
point.
Your relationship with me is like with a dude. It's not the same thing.
Well, okay, then we're getting at something here. But I don't think that you're only saying that you only truly value beyond the physical.
No,
if
so
you have
so it's
no-
it's a little weird. This is an interesting question because nobody's ever asked me this before. My
Need to write
friendships with girls that I am sleeping with, I'm also deeply friendship. Like I stay friends with them for a long time. I help them with their businesses. My exes, I have a really good relationship with all of them, even though we're not
you
sleeping
do.
together.
I agree.
So it's a
yeah.
little bit different for me, but most guys are not like me.
Okay, I have a question because
Red flag.
I
How
was
you see the red
brought
flag?
here.